everyone, my name's Annette, and you might know me on social media as Nettersplays. Well, today I'm going to talk to you about the games that I acquired for the month of June. And not only that, I'm going to give you my first impressions of them. So luckily for the month of June, I only acquired 5 games. I acquired a couple of promos, but I won't talk about those. But in these 5 games, I managed to play them all. So I'm going to go ahead and just discuss briefly what my first impressions were of those games as far as the artwork, the components, and also the gameplay themselves. So let's get to it. The first game I'll talk to you about is Eggs of Ostrich. So in Eggs of Ostrich, it's just a small, quirky little game. It's super silly, it's nothing serious, and it plays in 10 minutes. It's a great little game that you can easily play between games or when you're just waiting around for someone. But it only plays 3 players. So in this game, what you're doing is you're pretty much playing rock, paper, scissors in a way with 3 people. So what you're doing is everyone is going to go ahead and get the same hand, and also they're going to get these certain baskets. So for example, this basket will only carry 7 eggs versus this basket will carry only 2 eggs. So if you end up having more than 2 eggs in this basket, it's going to break. So how do you collect these eggs? So what you're going to do is you're going to have a deck of cards, and in this deck you're going to encounter different ostriches. For example, you got this ostrich that holds 4 eggs. You got this ostrich that holds 6 eggs. And then you have this ostrich which holds 9 eggs, and you can obviously see from the artwork that it's just super silly. So in this game, I had a bit of fun with it. I think it's a great little filler game that you can easily just pass some time. I don't see myself playing this game seriously. It's just a matter of flipping, selecting cards, and kind of like screwing your opponent, because you can also skip on collecting some eggs. If you skip, you're going to end up having those other players collect all of the eggs. So instead of distributing them equally among the players, you're going to end up skipping this time, and you can potentially give someone 9 eggs when they're only trying to fill up a basket of 5, so it'll break. So it's a little bit of kind of like press your luck type of game, and kind of trying to outwit your opponent. And it's just like rock, paper, scissors in a way that, I associate it with. I have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, I would recommend Eggs of Ostrich just for something light if you like these type of weird little quirky games. So the next game I'll talk to you about is Mr. Cabbagehead's Garden Game. Now in Mr. Cabbagehead's Garden Game, this is only a solo game. You can only play it with 1 player. It says it plays between 15 and 20 minutes, but now I can play this game in about 10 minutes. And basically the theme of this game is that Mr. Cabbagehead, he loves planting these different types of vegetables, like the rutabaga, and you also got turnips, you got beans, and a whole array of different vegetables in this game. What you're basically doing in this game is, in the first phase, you're planting these different vegetables in a certain grid of 3 by 6 cards. And what you're doing is, at the end of the game, you have Eudora Brassica, the president of the garden club, and she's basically going to come by and she will judge the garden based on how it looks and how the different vegetables are kind of placed. But the problem is, he has these pesky neighbors, and these neighbors right here, like this guy right here, and you also got this person right here. They come by and they just annoy the hell out of this guy. So what he does is he goes on a holiday. Basically, he goes on vacation. So this game is just really quirky. It's silly. The artwork, I love the artwork. I love like these old-timey kind of vegetable cards, the characters themselves in this game. You also can get it with these different chips. So you got like this different chip right here, which is double-sided. And you got, for example, like these different bees, little chips. And so what you're doing is you're basically getting these different vegetables and placing them in a grid. And according to where you're placing them, if you're placing, for example, if you're placing a rutabaga right next to another rutabaga adjacent, you're going to score points for that. And you just score points according to these different numbers on the bottom. Now, this game I've found hasn't been very easy to win at all, actually. I haven't scored more than 100 points in this game. So it's quite challenging because you don't know what kind of vegetable is going to come up next. You have a decision to make of 3 different vegetables. You pull up 3 different vegetables and you pick up one of those. Now, if you pick up one to the left, you're going to go ahead and have to drop a B token. If you're picking the vegetable in the middle of the 3, you're not have to give any B chips or take them. But if you also pick the one from the left, you're going to take a B from the beehive. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense in that kind of way, but, you know, it's a kind of way of managing what kind of cards you're going to get and which kind of cards you can afford to take and place. So it's kind of like a solitaire game where you're dealing with the placement, you're dealing with the luck of the draw. You kind of know when these different neighbor cards are going to come up, but you're also drawing these different random tokens according to the cards that you're taking, the vegetables. And certain different neighbors, they do really bad things to your garden. They're basically either taking some vegetables or kind of messing them up or something like that. That's why Mr. Cabbagehead goes on vacation, because they just bug the hell out of him. So the theme itself is really funny. It's really quirky and great. You know, you can really get yourself into the theme of planting these different vegetables. But, I mean, it's just a really solid card game I found. So yeah, I'll go ahead and leave the link to where you can find this game. It's not sold anywhere. You have to buy it actually from the directly from the publisher. There's always a print and play online that you can print out yourself, but I actually bought the game from the designer, I mean. So yeah, I'll leave the link below where you can easily find this game if you really are interested in it. So that is Mr. Cabbagehead's garden game. Another game that I acquired this month is El Gaucho. So El Gaucho is a 2 to 4 player game and it plays in about an hour. We managed to play this game 2 players only, and it's basically about this cattle baron, and he has a whole bunch of gauchos, and he is collecting different cattle that are in the pampa, which is the field, pretty much. It's pretty silly, but anyways. So you got this huge board right here, and the first thing you might notice is this thing right here. So what is this? It's pretty much the rodeo. What you're going to do is you're going to get your dice and you're just going to throw them in there. And you're also going to have these different tiles. There's a whole bunch of different bulls that you're going to lay in the field. And what you're going to do is you're going to claim them depending on the roll. So you can claim them with these different gauchos. So, I mean, as far as the board is concerned, I really like the board. I think it's really cute and fun to look at, and it's pretty useful. I mean, the fence, like the little rodeos, is something unique to this board. Now, I love the artwork in this game, simply because it has a whole bunch of different bulls in it. For example, like this little cute one with the little bunny, and it also has some mean bulls right there. And it has some little stinky ones that are dirty, stepping in poop. So it also has like these little gauchos right here that are pretty cute. I don't mind these at all. So I really like the artwork. The component quality in this game I think is really great. I think one thing that did suffer from the translation is the rulebook. So the rulebook has a couple of things that were kind of off. For example, instead of what you're doing in this game is you're set collecting, but it kind of says that you're separating these different cattle by races. So instead of by breeds, and it's kind of weird just to be collecting these different types of race cattle. So I found that a little off, but it was lost in translation, so I guess, I mean, it should have been corrected, but oh well. The game itself, I found it's a really lightweight kind of game. It's really easy. It's something that, you know, it's worker placement with dice. So you can select different cattle with your gauchos, and you can also go into town, for example, and you could place your dice on these different areas in town. Now, I didn't think it was something too hard to understand. We simply read through the rulebook super quick, picked up the game, and played it all within an hour. I've only played it with 2 players. With 4 players, I can see it just picking up its pace and kind of running through the game a lot faster. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend it for like a gateway game itself. It's not something that I necessarily would pick up and, you know, think heavy strategy about. It's just a simple little fun game. So yeah, that is El Gaucho. Another game that I got this month is Progress, Evolution of Technology. Now, just like this game suggests, there's an evolution, there's a progression of technology. So how are we going to do that? So what we're going to get in this box is we're going to go ahead and progress humanity through technology and time. So what you're going to do is you can progress either through prestige or different population growth or through military accomplishments. So every person is going to get this cool little board right here. And you're going to go ahead and put your little player markers in each one and kind of evolve and progress. So these different little things mean like you can hold a certain amount of cards. For example, if you're in this spot, you hold 5 cards. But if you're over here, you hold up to 8 cards in your hand. So the more you progress in these different regions, the better you get in the game, and you can do a lot more things. So how are you going to develop this right here? Well, you're going to pick up a certain amount of cards in different ages. So this is age 1 cards, and then there's also age 2 and age 3. So what you're going to do is, for example, you're going to learn the alphabet. And so how you learn alphabet is by learning how to write. So then you have to get writing first in order to develop the alphabet. And what you're going to do is, by acquiring these different cards, you can go ahead and improve on the side your different action according to that card if you acquire it. So what this game really offered that I haven't played in a different game is this tech tree. So right here, it's kind of complicated if you haven't seen this before. But basically, if, for example, you acquire the writing card, you can develop things like mathematics, the calendar. You can also develop in the alphabet or even medicine. So you could acquire different things based on what initial cards you got. And you can move along the different ages and develop even up to factories or electricity and such. So it's a really cool theme that I thought with this game, how you go through the different ages of mankind and just develop humanity, and these different civilizations or players kind of form in different ways and get better at different things. So I enjoyed the theme of the game itself. I think a problem though that I had with this game is that it kind of offers a runaway leader in it. So there's no real player interaction at all except for the drawing of the cards. But you're just drawing from the same pile. You're getting resources from the same piles, but you're not interacting. Like, anything you do isn't affecting anything that your opponent is really doing. You're kind of playing solo, more so than any other game that I think I've played with other people. So yeah, I mean, it is a puzzle that you're working with someone else that's just hanging out with you doing the same thing. But yeah, I really found this game to be a real like multiplayer solo game. And it also, because of that, you really can't affect what the other players are doing. You know, you can try to take away certain cards, but they can also develop in different ways. So, I mean, it'd be interesting if there was like some interaction like war or military to kind of like kick back that technology so they don't progress faster and faster and faster throughout the rounds. because in this game I found that it's just, there's a runaway leader. If you're already ahead, you're going to get even more ahead the next time and even more ahead than all the other players, because you just develop a lot faster and better in each round. So that's the one thing. I haven't played with the expansion, and that's the thing that this game does come with. It comes with expansions to this game. For example, you can add in different people in this game, like William Shakespeare. You also have people like Michelangelo and Johannes Gutenberg. So you have different people through time that I guess can progress in different areas as well, but I'm not sure how it affects the game differently. So that's something I may have to explore later. So yeah, that's Progress, Evolution of Technology. So it's a really cool theme, but I'm not sure about the runaway leader in this game. So the last game I'm going to talk to you about is Terra Mystica. Now, Terra Mystica is a game that's been on my wish list for like the longest time. It plays between 2 to 5 players, and it plays in about 30 minutes per player. It's a game that I've been really meaning to play, and for some reason I haven't played it. So yeah, I've been getting lots of recommendations from everyone recently. So I just decided to pick it up and play it. So what I have to say about this game is, first impression is just the artwork. So you got this massive board right here, and there's all these different like hexagons, and what do they mean? Well, it's landscape, different lands. So you have these individual player boards. For example, yesterday I played with the nomads. Now, the nomads themselves like to live in the desert, of course. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to travel across the land and kind of build your dwellings, your little tribes and such. So in this game, you're going to go across this land, and you can live in the desert, but you really don't like living in any of the other places. So you're going to have to change, for example, this area into a desert. And you do that by hiring different workers, and you're basically terraforming. You're changing the landscape itself into a desert type. And then, therefore, you can go ahead and hire some more workers and pay them to build some dwellings, and then you can upgrade into some townhouses or trading houses, and also trade that into a stronghold or a sanctuary or a temple. So you can improve the locations where you're at, the different structures. So you do that in several different ways. Like you can go ahead and you can acquire different amounts of power. So you're gaining these different power points, and you can use those power points and trade them out to gain things like priests or different workers or even more money. So there's a lot involved in this game. I can't really explain all of it in this short amount of time, but I just want to give you my first general impression of this game, and it's basically, there's a lot in this game. So luckily though, I found that the rulebook was not that bad to get through. I mean, yeah, this is a 20-page rulebook, but I mean, I'm not sure, I'm just probably getting better at getting through rulebooks, but it didn't take us that long to get through this and kind of understand what was going on and how to use these different things, and how one thing affects another and another and another, and how to use it to your benefit. So it all makes sense. Also, this game comes with like a ton of little bits. I mean, this box itself, I think probably weighs about 10 pounds. So there's a lot of bits in this game, which is awesome, because if you like components, if you like fidgeting with like little things, like you're gonna love this game. The artwork, components, perfect. Rulebook, good. And the gameplay itself is just, there's a lot to think about, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I think my first impression of Terra Mystica is that it's good, and what it left me with is pretty much with a sense of wanting to explore all these different factions. It comes with 14 different factions, double-sided boards, so you could beat any one of these, and they're all different from one another. It's an asymmetrical game, so they all do different things, and you could develop in different ways. So that's one thing that it really just kind of expands the game in different ways, and I really want to explore that. So yeah. So Terra Mystica is a game that I could see myself holding on to for a long time. I would recommend it off of my first play. I mean, obviously I want to play it some more, so yeah, I highly recommend it just after that one first play. So yeah, that's Terra Mystica. Alright, well I really hope you enjoyed this video where I kind of go over the games that I bought in June and kind of went over my first impression of them. And so if you have any questions or comments regarding these games too, or anything else, any other suggestions of games, just go ahead and leave them down below. You can also just subscribe if you want to follow any other videos like this. And also, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and also Meeples included. So I'll go ahead and leave all the information down below. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So I'll talk to you later. Bye!